Hi, I am Crystal, a master practitioner in clinical counseling. If you feel guilty setting boundaries, this video is for you, because boundaries aren't about being harsh, selfish, or too much. Boundaries are about protecting your peace and your relationships without losing yourself. Today, we're going to break down what boundaries actually are, how you can tell when they're being crossed, and how to set boundaries without guilt, in a way that feels calm, clear, and respectful. Let's start simple. A boundary is a limit that protects your well-being. It's what you are okay with and what you are not okay with. And here's the key. A boundary is not something you force another person to do. A boundary is what you will do to take care of yourself if the line keeps getting crossed. So instead of, "You need to stop talking to me like that," a boundary sounds like, "If you raise your voice at me, I'm going to pause this conversation and we can try again later." Boundaries are not punishments, they're not threats, they're clarity, and healthy people don't fear boundaries, they respect them. Sometimes people think, "I don't know if I need a boundary, I just feel off." So here are some common signs your boundaries might be getting crossed. 1, you feel drained after certain conversations, like your energy gets pulled out of you. 2, you find yourself people-pleasing, over-explaining, or saying yes when you mean no. 3, you feel resentment building, and because you're giving more than you can actually afford. 4, you feel anxious before responding to texts or calls, like you're bracing yourself. 5, you don't feel like you're allowed to have needs, preferences, or a different opinion. And here's a big one. If you feel guilty for having normal human needs, that's often a sign you've been trained to put yourself last. Crossed boundaries often sound like, "You're too sensitive, you're selfish, after all I've done for you. If you loved me, you would. Why are you making this a big deal?" When your reality is dismissed, minimized, or pressured, it becomes harder to trust yourself. That's why boundaries matter so much. Let's talk about the guilt, because it's real. Guilt often shows up when you were raised to keep the peace, you learned that love sparks sacrifice, or you were rewarded for being easy, helpful, or the strong one. So when you start setting boundaries, your nervous system can panic and to think, I'm doing something wrong, or I'm going to lose this person, or I'm being mean. But boundaries are not mean. Boundaries are what make relationships sustainable. And guilt doesn't always mean you're doing something wrong. Sometimes guilt is just a sign you're doing something new. Here are a few ways to set boundaries that are clear and compassionate. Step 1, keep it short and clear. You don't need a big speech. The longer you explain, the more room there is for debate. Try, "That doesn't work for me. I'm not available for that. I can't commit to that. I need to think about it and get back to you." Step 2, use I language, not because you're weak, but because it reduces defensiveness. Examples: "I'm not comfortable discussing that. I'm going to pass on that. I need more notice next time." Step 3, name the boundary, plus the action you'll take. This is where boundaries become real. Examples: "If the conversation turns disrespectful, I'm going to end the call. If you show up without asking, I won't be answering the door. If you keep pushing after I've said no, I'm going to take space." This isn't punishment, it's protection. Step 4, expect pushback and stay steady. If someone benefits from you having no boundaries, they may not like the new version of you. So your job is not to convince them. Your job is to be consistent. A calm repeat is powerful. "I hear you," and my answer is still no. "I understand you're upset, and I'm still not available. I'm not discussing this further." Step 5, Practice self-validation to reduce guilt. Here's the guilt tool. When guilt hits, say, "It makes sense that this feels hard. I'm allowed to have needs. Discomfort doesn't mean I'm doing something wrong. I can be kind and still be clear." The goal isn't zero guilt overnight. The goal is learning to choose your well-being even when guilt shows up. Let's make it super practical. If someone constantly vents but never checks in on you, I care about you, but I don't have capacity for heavy talks today. If a family member comments on your body or choices, I'm not open to comments about that. If a friend pressures you to say yes, I'm not available, and I'm not going to explain further. If a partner dismisses your feelings, I'm happy to talk when we can both be respectful. If not, I'm taking a break. If this video helped you, here's your next step. Pick one boundary you've been avoiding and write a one-sentence version of it today. Keep it short, keep it calm, and remember, clarity is kindness. And if you want more tools like this for anxiety, relationships, communication, and emotional healing, make sure you subscribe to Healing Unfiltered with Crystal. And if you know someone who feels guilty for having needs, share this with them. It might be exactly what they needed to hear. You deserve relationships that respect you, not relationships that require you to disappear. I'll see you in the next video.